Hey, I'm tech journalist Nate Drake, and welcome to The Digital Merchant. This is your channel for digital marketing, online business, and growth strategies without the fluff. Today, we're diving into how to activate your eSIM with a prepaid carrier. Now, if you've just picked up an eSIM-only iPhone, you're switching to a value carrier, the setup screens can make your eyes glaze over. So please stick around. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what an eSIM is, how to check if your phone is compatible, and how to get activated without sitting on hold with support. So, first things first, what actually is an eSIM and why is everyone suddenly talking about it? In plain English, an eSIM is just a digital SIM card. Instead of a little plastic card you poke into the side of your phone, there's a tiny chip already built into the device. Your carrier sends the SIM profile to that chip electronically, usually over Wi-Fi. There's no fiddly tray to open, nothing to lose, nothing physical to swap. Every recent iPhone supports eSIM, but Apple has been ramping this up in recent years. For example, the iPhone 17 Air is eSIM only everywhere with no SIM tray at all. The regular iPhone 17, 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max, and 17e are eSIM only in a set of countries like the US, Canada, Japan, and a few others, but still come with a SIM tray in a lot of the rest of the world. So, depending on where you bought your phone, you might not have a choice anymore. Personally, I'm on an iPhone 14 with Straight Talk, and if you bought a US iPhone 14 like me, you're already in that eSIM only future. So this isn't just a theory for me or you, it's literally how my main line works right now. So step 1, check if your phone supports eSIM and is unlocked before you buy anything. You really want to make sure your phone actually supports eSIM and it's not still locked to another carrier, of course. On iPhone, there's a quick way to check. Open the phone app, dial *#06#. You'll see a screen pop up with a bunch of numbers. If you see something labeled EID alongside your IMEI, that means your phone does have eSIM support. You can also go into Settings, Cellular, and look for an option like Add eSIM or Add Cellular Plan. If you see that, you're good. Next, you can check if the phone is unlocked. On an iPhone, you can usually go to Settings, General, About, scroll down to Carrier Lock. If it says No SIM Restrictions, you're free to use pretty much any compatible prepaid eSIM. But of course, if it says something like SIM locked or shows a specific carrier name, you'll need to get that cleared with your current provider before you move to a new prepaid carrier. Now on Android, sadly, there's no single universal carrier lock line like on the iPhone that works across every single device, but there are a couple of generic checks that work across most brands. The first is to check via network settings. On stock Android, you can open Settings and either tap Connections or Network and Internet, tap Mobile Network or Cellular Network, then Network Operators, or choose Network. If you turn off Select Automatically in this section, you see that and let the phone search for networks, you may see a list of multiple carrier names appear. If so, that's a strong sign the phone is unlocked. However, if you only ever see one carrier when you do this, or you get an error when you try to search, it often means the phone is locked to that provider. Failing this, you can simply test by inserting a SIM card from a different carrier, assuming that your Android device has a physical SIM tray. If it connects to the network, then your device likely doesn't have a SIM lock. So step 2 is to choose a prepaid eSIM plan. So once you know your phone is eSIM capable and unlocked, it's time to pick a plan. You can do this with a bunch of carriers, but I'll walk through the flow using a value carrier like Straight Talk because that's the one that I actually use and it's quite popular in the prepaid space. So the high-level process looks like this. First, decide whether you're bringing your own phone and number porting in or bringing your own phone starting fresh with a new number. Then you pick your plan, a single line plan if it's just for you, or a family or multi-line plan if you're adding kids or a partner. On the carrier's site or app, you'll usually see a Keep Your Own Phone or BYOP option. And that's what you want if you already have a cell phone of your own, as I did with my handy iPhone 14. From there, you select eSIM as the activation type instead of a physical SIM. At this point, some carriers will give you a QR code to scan your device's camera. Others, like StraighTalk, let you enter your phone's IMEI and push the eSIM profile directly to your phone after checkout. Step 3. Activate the eSIM on your phone. So this, of course, encompasses the actual activation process. Now, general eSIM activation with a QR code usually looks like this on an iPhone. You make sure you're on Wi-Fi. On your phone, you go to Settings and Cellular, you tap Add eSIM or Add Cellular Plan, and you'll see different transfer options here. You can now choose Use QR Code to scan QR code your carrier gave you. Follow the on-screen prompts, label your plan, particularly if you're working with multiple eSIMs, pick your default line for calls, data, and confirm. On Android, it's a similar process, but the menus will differ by brand. Usually go to Settings and Other Connections or Work with Internet. You find the SIM Manager or Mobile Networks, then you can tap Add eSIM or Download eSIM, and then you scan the QR code or enter the activation code manually. If you're using a provider like StraighTalk where they use your IMEI instead of a QR code on your phone, for example on iPhone, you go to Settings, General About, copy your IMEI. It's often labeled as IMEI or IMEI Digital SIM. Then on the carrier's site or app, start the activation, choose the eSIM and enter that IMEI. Complete the purchase and confirmation steps next. After a few minutes, your iPhone should pop up a notification saying a cellular plan has been added. If you don't see this, you can go into Settings or Cellular, Add eSIM, and follow the previous prompts like we did earlier, maybe using QR code. Now you're going to need an active internet connection for this entire process because the eSIM profile is downloaded over the air. This can be an issue if you're using an existing eSIM for data and are trying to replace it, or you're on public Wi-Fi somewhere like a cafe, which can be slow and unreliable. For best results, connect to a trusted network such as one at home before you go ahead. Once the eSIM is added, I always recommend a quick restart. For instance, on iPhone, you can hold the volume up and side button, slide to power off, wait a few seconds, and then turn it back on. When it boots up, you should see signal bars for your new prepaid carrier. And step 4, test everything and avoid common pitfalls. After activation, you can't just assume everything is good. Test it. Turn off the Wi-Fi. Make a quick call. Try to send a text. Open a browser and load a web page using mobile data. If any of those fail, they're usually caused by one or several common issues. For example, wrong IMEI or mistyped digits. People sometimes copy the IMEI down by hand and just flip maybe 2 numbers. If the carriers try to provision an eSIM to the wrong device ID, then obviously nothing will ever show up on your phone. Double check the IMEI exactly as it appears in your device settings. Another problem, the phone's still locked to another carrier. If you bought the phone from another provider on a contract, there's a good chance it's still locked. An eSIM can download without issue, but the phone itself may refuse to register on the new network. Checking that no SIM restriction status up front saves you a lot of grief here, as we did earlier. Weak or flaky internet mid-activation. If your Wi-Fi cuts out halfway through downloading the eSIM profile, you can end up in limbo. Hopefully this won't happen to you because you followed my earlier advice to use a reliable hotspot like one in your home. Otherwise, reconnect to a better Wi-Fi network, restart the phone, and either retry the activation flow or if needed, contact your carrier to resend the eSIM. Expired QR or activation codes. Some activation links and QR codes are time limited. If you bought your plan a while ago and are only now setting it up, you may need the carrier to issue a fresh code. If you've checked all of that and it still isn't working, at that point it really is worth hopping on chat or maybe a short call with support. For something like a prepaid StraighTalk eSIM, they can see the activation status on their end and tell you if the issue is with the device, the IMEI, or the line itself. So, to recap the whole flow in a clean checklist. First, confirm your phone supports eSIM. Next, confirm it's unlocked or unlock it with your current carrier. Pick a prepaid plan that supports eSIM and choose BYOP if you're bringing your own device. Follow the QR code or IMEI-based activation steps on your carrier's site or app. Make sure you're on stable Wi-Fi while the eSIM profile downloads. Restart your phone and test calls, text, and data. Now, if you're picking up an iPhone 17 Air or a US iPhone 17 model that's eSIM only, sadly, this is no longer optional nerd stuff. It's just how your phone is going to work from now on. The upside is once you've done it once, switching carriers or adding a travel data plan becomes a lot less painful than hunting for a paperclip and a tiny SIM tray on your hotel bedspread. If you have questions about specific carriers, dual eSIM setups, or running business and personal lines on the same phone, drop them in the comments and I'll try to cover those in a follow-up. I'm your digital merchant. Subscribe for more no fluff insights. Stay digital, stay profitable.